What is up, guys? This is the Casual Wrestling Mike and D Hot Take Show. Each and every week, me and Mike drop two of our biggest hot takes on the community. If you enjoy the channel, make sure to support us with a Casual Wrestling membership on YouTube or a super chat on YouTube as well. We'll support the channel, or make sure to just share the content with your friends and help more people hang out with us on a weekly basis. Housekeeping, Bash at Berlin VIP watch party is August 31st. We'll be doing that. Mike, I know you're on the road. We'll see if we can get you to phone in from wherever you are, but it will be happening. Either way, we'll be hanging out for the main event and then doing a reaction show. This is our second shot at this, Mike. We started and we were on private. I think TikTok might have been hanging out for a minute, but it's deja vu for TikTok. Here we are. We're back. Yeah. We're back live now on YouTube as well. Now I see We Too Deep is in the chat. We were streaming private. But it's that time again, Mike. Time to set the wrestling world on fire. Time to tickle the brains of the casual wrestling fans. Time to drop our hottest, sweatiest takes on the community. Mike, I'm going to let you start today. What do you got for me?
So my first hot take for the week is that I do not believe Tiffany Stratton is in it for the long run. And the reason I'm saying that is because just recently I had browsed her social media platforms, and more specifically her TikTok. It seems like it's a lot about herself, and I don't necessarily see or get the vibe that she's necessarily in it because she loves it, right? It's the get ready with me, or, I just dropped $500 on mascara or whatever the hell you want to call it, Sephora or whatever it's called. And, I think that she may be just in it for the opportunities that it's going to present in the next couple of years, not necessarily for the in-ring stuff.
Interesting.
Now, obviously she's undeniably talented, right? Like, that's why she's been getting the pushes that she has, because obviously the fans kind of gravitate towards her personality, her showcasing in terms of like the outfits that she's wearing, and obviously her athletic ability, being a former gymnast, right? So all that kind of makes sense as to why she's getting the push that she is within the WWE. But I think I do recall, maybe a couple months ago, maybe just recently, that I come across an article or a news feed that had said that she is getting agency representation, and she's interested in going into the Hollywood spectrum of things. And, you just kind of start putting this all into a basket, and it's got to make you really wonder, is this going to be a 5-10 year WWE run, or is this going to be a short little 3 to 5, hey, get me exposed and I'm out the door kind of thing? So I guess that's my first hot take. Tiffany Stratton, maybe not in it for the long run.
I think you're right, but I think that the way WWE sees it may be very unique with Tiffany Stratton. 100%. She's gotten representation. I don't think she's never been a wrestling girl, right? This was something. This is going to be the result of this NIL stuff, where they go out and seek these talented athletes to come back to WWE and kind of transform into wrestlers. 100%. I've seen the social media. It's not about wrestling. Whereas you look at like what's her name, Maddie Rinkowski or whatever, it's about wrestling. That her life is about wrestling. With Tiffany, it's definitely not. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I don't think WWE is going to give up on her so quickly based upon that. I think WWE is soon going to get into a world where these superstars are working 6 months of the year, that we're not seeing people work. And I think they're going to sign these wrestlers under more talent contracts rather than just wrestling contracts. They will represent, I think there may have been a little bit of this with the Sasha Banks stuff, with the Star Wars. I know she claims she did all that on her own, but I call bullshit, right? WWE has dipped its toe into movie studios. We know that, a lot of these wrestlers have aspirations to become bigger than wrestling. So I think WWE may be prepared for that, in a sense of like, we want Tiffy to expand out into other avenues of business while still being part of professional wrestling. And I think they learned with The Rock, under the right situation, this can work. You can have people be in movies or be in modeling or being something else, while still being in WWE. I think a little bit of Gable Steveson originally was the idea that we'll have him under contract while he's still, winning in college and doing this. And we get to take a certain amount of representation of that. I think somebody that's under NIL right now won the Olympics, correct? They won a medal, and WWE was publicizing it on their social media. Like they were saying,
the hurdler.
WWE athlete wins gold. So I do believe, I think you're right. I think this may be wrestling as we know it in the future, is that we may not have people who are 100% dedicated to wrestling full time, because when you look at Becky Lynch, you look at Seth Rollins, I think there's burnout. Yeah. I think they wake up one day and go, I've done this shit for 365 days a year for the last 10 years, and I could have done other things. I think they want to do things like Marvel movies and stuff like that.
Sure.
So I believe there's a world where WWE becomes sort of a talent agency.
Okay.
And so I think you're 100% right. I don't think, and Tiffany Stratton is the prime example. This is a stepping stone, but I think WWE knows that. I think they're full aware, and I think they've probably had conversations like, if we strap this rocket to your back, you just can't take off tomorrow. You've got to give us this amount of time, and then we can transition you to maybe some movies, to maybe something in Hollywood, to reality shows, whatever you're trying to do. The Bella Twins, Nikki did it a little bit where she was able to kind of cross the line and go back and forth. You've seen it with different people. I think that WWE can become a talent agency and represent these people. I think you would agree. It's crazy to wrestle 365 days a year.
100%.
There's no other sport that asks that of you. And so wrestling, and we've heard this kind of, I was making a joke yesterday that me and you were talking about getting Bronson, right? Getting Bronson would be a great way to be knocked off TV. But the reality is, we've heard the rumors that wrestlers are allowed to ask for time off.
Yeah. Yep.
And so, I foresee a world where someone like Tiffany Stratton can take 6 months off and do whatever she wants and then show back up for the Royal Rumble. WWE loves surprises, so the more you can have people disappear and come back. So I'm with you. I don't think that's a crazy thought. I think you've picked up on all the signals. Is she's not a wrestler.
Yeah.
She is a personality that just happens to wrestle.
Yeah, and similar like with Logan Paul and everything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think that's a prime example, right? They're showing us with Logan Paul that, like, you can come have a 3-month run. You can be, and I think there is something to be said for WWE, even the relationship with The Rock, of like somebody who kind of graduates from WWE and does go on and then gives back to the company. I see that as well, but I think you're right. I don't think that she's the next Charlotte, the way some people want to say she's the future of the business now. I think that's your Roxanne Perez. That's your Cora Jades. They love wrestling. Tiffany Stratton is here because this is a means to an end. But I think that I don't think she'll just leave us high and dry. I don't believe that.
Okay.
My first hot take here, Mike, is the entire future of the Wyatt Six depends on next week's Bo Dallas match. I think they're cooked. I think you're seeing shit going on WWE.com where they're moving profiles around. They didn't have Mask last night. That I know people said I was crazy, and everybody wanted to jump on me when I said it didn't hit. It didn't hit. And everybody was like, you're crazy. The crowd popped. That's not what they're looking for with this group. The crowd's going to pop. This is the memory of Bray Wyatt, right? The reality is, the optics, Triple H is looking long-term, and he's going, this is starting to look the same every week. It's not hitting any different beats. And as long as we can keep the lights off and they can beat somebody up, that works. But the smart fans are going to get tired after a while. And then when the smart fans start screaming enough, the casual fans start to listen and regurgitate what the smart fans say, and that's when you get cooked. There's got to be more there, Mike. There has to be more there than what we're seeing. And here's my fear.
Yeah.
I saw a thing today. of these people trying to go the new Uncle Howdy mask. It's a downgrade from what he had before. It's not the big articulate mask that he used to have, and that's because he has to wrestle. So we're already seeing the kind of degradation of the gimmick that like Bray Wyatt was so particular about. Bo Dallas is a little more willing to bend to kind of the knee of WWE, and I think that's why initially they were giving so much praise to Bo Dallas was he did what Bray Wyatt did, but he was more compliant. Whereas Bray Wyatt, I think, pushed back more. But I think that this match on Monday, and I even think that it says a lot, the fact that this match is on Monday and not on a premium live event says something, right? And here's the problem. If I'm going into the ring and I want to look good, I know Gable makes people look good, but Gable makes himself look good. And that's not the guy that I want to be compared to right off the bat as Chad Gable. So my hot take is it's put up or shut up for the Wyatt Six. And I think it has to be a full match, and it has to be Bo Dallas showing up and showing out. And I don't know, does he have that in his arsenal?
I mean, it remains to be seen. You know, I got to give, I give props where props are due, right? Our man Deep. Yeah. He stood strong from the beginning, and it's starting to kind of play itself out here. You know, I was strong in the Discord last night that I did not like that segment. I think the Maxine Ivy match started off perfectly. I was entertained. I was like, oh, this is a Maxine I've never seen before.
Well, I think they put a halt to Maxine.
Yeah, I'm like, I want more of this. And then it was just kind of like we knew it was coming, right? Like and we just didn't know how. We knew it was gonna be Nikki Cross because it was a women's match, right? And they show up without the masks, but then Nikki Cross still has her mask on. Uncle Howdy has his. So it's like you're getting mixed signals here, and it just something is just not right with it. With me, like, and you explained it pretty perfectly. You know, next week is going to be a pretty big test because Uncle Howdy's he's the eye of the storm of this whole thing. So if this doesn't go right, I mean, you can't. I wouldn't say you're going to have to pull the plug, but I mean, it's going to be a very blurry road ahead because the presentation so far started here. And now it's just kind of like we're on a roller coaster down, and it hasn't been too enjoyable.
If this doesn't go right for me, they become a sideshow.
100%.
They don't become a factor of it. It reminds me of like Naomi's entrance, right?
Okay.
There are people who show up and go, that's the coolest entrance, the neon lights and shit like that. It will just become a mid-card spectacle that we know happens. The Wyatt Six show up. We keep the lights off. They beat somebody up. They'll right now, and I saw Deep say this, they killed the momentum of Gable, the Alpha Academy, and American Made. They've just shut that shit down. That story, this is not where I would have inserted them. And they're not doing Chad Gable any favors because it's just week after week of getting beat up and kind of illogical booking. But yeah, I think they will just become relegated to a spectacle, an entrance, just a moment that people, we want to bring our phone out. We want to do the fireflies. We want to hear the music. We want to do the holy shit, you fucked up or whatever, But the way they're booking it, it can't ever roll into a main event situation.
I can't see it.
There's just no path to get them to like what they go after Damian Priest next. It's just I don't like it's the way it's going. I don't like they gave up on the mask last night.
Yep.
And I've been saying I think that Triple H is telling them you guys got to figure this shit out. It's not translating. Lights off, you look great. Lights on, what happens? And that's once again with like Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas. Lights on, he's gonna look little. He's not gonna look scary and intimidating. He's gonna look like a little skinny guy with a mask on. And we'll see how good that mask looks and how good these costumes look. And we'll see. I can tell you right now, if that ends in like lights shutting off and more of the smoke and shit like that, I go, all right,
I'm good.
Cool.
I'm good.
We're just gonna do this every week. But I'm not I can't keep doing it. So yeah, big test next week for Bo Dallas. He's the weight of that story is on his shoulders. Because if not,
I agree.
Get American Made out of there. That's a fucking hell of a group.
Absolutely.
Get them
Absolutely.
new T-shirts.
Yeah.
You're putting all
The
this shit together
presentation,
to bury them. What are you doing? At
Yeah,
this
I'm not a
point,
fan of that.
if I'm pulling the plug, have them beat the shit out of the Wyatt Six and be
Yeah.
like, all right, they solved the Wyatt problem.
yeah. I like that idea. I like that idea.
All right, what's your next take, Mike?
Yeah, man. So I've been kind of the one that's kind of keeping eyes on Survivor Series, right?
Yeah,
I know last
definitely.
week I threw the Wyatt Six in there. I'm taking them out now.
Okay.
Last night I'm taking them out now. So obviously that leaves the highly anticipated match that we're all assuming is going to happen: Bloodline versus Bloodline.
Yeah.
I think how we get there is going to be interesting. And I think the participants in the match are not going to be who we expected them to be.
Okay.
So I think Sami Zayn got written off TV for a little bit.
I do too. I'd said that a couple weeks ago that I thought he was being written off TV. I thought they should have had him squashed by Braun Breaker, but I agree. I think he's just written off as like being in a pissy mood or something.
Yeah. And now we got Jay talking about being in the IC title. Obviously, he's going to win the tournament. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a no-brainer, right? So that leaves Roman kind of doing his own thing. And I don't anticipate Jay coming back. It just doesn't seem like they're really hitting the pulse of Jay coming back soon.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to come back,
yes.
but I don't think it's so. It makes me go to Bash in Berlin, right?
Uh-huh.
And we have pretty much everybody that's been wronged by the bloodline, right? The old bloodline and the new bloodline. You got KO and Cody Rhodes in a title match. You got Randy Orton on the other title match. I think the bloodline is going to get involved with both of these matches. And I think they're going to start keeping this feud going with Randy, Cody, and KO. And I think there's a scenario that when we get to Survivor Series, Roman is going to correct the wrongs that he had with KO, correct the wrongs he had with Randy, and correct the wrongs that he had with Cody. And that's going to be your Team Roman. And I think you're going to go against the new bloodline. And I think at some point in that match, you'll get the return of the Usos together. Okay. And I think that's when things will start to kind of piece themselves together, because after Survivor Series, we're headed to Mania.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
now we got to start getting this thing set here. So I could see a world where it's Team Roman, Cody, KO, and Randy versus the new bloodline, because I just think all of that kind of meshes itself together, kind of like how it was with the Super Friends. Was it 2 years ago?
That's what I was just. So that's when I turned my head here to think was like, do I want Super Friends 2.0 featuring Roman Reigns? I think
that could be a legitimate goal line here. I can see it happening.
I don't think so, Mike. I don't. I know you're being.
I'm trying to figure it out.
I know you've been investigating. If it's anything other than Roman, Jimmy, and Jay, it's a missed opportunity for me.
Okay.
And so I agree with a lot of what you said, but here I think we're inevitably close to Jimmy coming back.
It's got to be.
I think that the beatdown of Roman was the first symbol he's not invincible.
Okay.
He's not Superman.
Okay.
Solo can get the best of him. They let Jacob get in the ring with Roman, and we go, oh shit. Okay.
That was interesting. Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
Roman has flaws in the armor, and the other thing was nobody came to save Roman. Nobody was there. So I do think it could be this Friday. I think we are inevitably close to now. Roman's not there this Friday, correct?
I'm hearing stories that he's written off for like the next month, which makes no sense.
Well, then
go ahead. Yeah.
Whatever it is, when Roman returns, I think that's when we get Jimmy. I really believe that. Now, let's say that's a month from now. That gives Jay time to play in his sandbox of wanting an individual title. I don't think Jay is going to win the tournament.
No.
I think that it's going to be Dragunov. That is who I believe.
Oh, okay.
I believe that we're headed towards Dragunov and Braun Breaker. I think that the bloodline or something has to happen to Jay to cause him to lose that makes him start looking back over there. I don't know if Solo comes and tries to call Jay back into his bloodline, which in turn, pisses Jay off. But I think at this point, if Jay makes it all the way and wins the tournament, then has to face Braun Breaker and gets fed to Braun Breaker, the conversation we're having that next week, Mike, is he lost King of the Ring. He lost fucking Money in the Bank. He lost the Intercontinental Tournament. Something wonky has to happen so that we can go, oh, this is the element that gets Jay back interested in what's going on the other side. I just don't think that he can survive winning this tournament and then losing another Intercontinental Championship shot. Because Braun Breaker's not, if I put any money on anybody holding a title right now, it's Braun Breaker. That's the guy that you keep a title on. I'm not even sold on Gunther having this illustrious long run that everybody thinks he's going to have. But Braun Breaker is the guy I think that is the safest of all the champions. So I get what you're saying. And leave it to WWE to put the fucking Super Friends back together.
Back together.
At the end of the day, every casual fan of the world, who doesn't want to see Roman, Cody, KO, Randy, all of the greats on one side of the ring? To me, there's such an emotional string with like getting the band back together. And I think there's enough time before Survivor Series to hit the beats of like Jimmy coming back and then them having to reach out to Jay in some form or fashion and be like, come on, man, Roman needs to talk to you. And maybe it's Sammy that brings it all back. I don't know what it is. I think it's a missed opportunity if we don't get Bloodline versus Bloodline.
Okay.
I really do. That's in my heart of hearts. I'm standing on that.
You're standing on it.
Yeah, I do. Wyatt Six are out of the picture, though, I believe. I don't think you could build Survivor Series around Wyatt Six at this point.
Let me just, I'm gonna just give a little something here.
Yeah.
Is there a world that Sammy turns on Jay?
Yeah. Oh, of course there is. I mean, realistically, yeah.
Okay.
I could see that. I mean, look, the reality is there is going to be one or two things in this story we don't know, right? Yeah. It's not going to play out as simple as we think. So yeah, there's a world where Sammy, there's a world where Sammy rejoins the Bloodline and then turns on Jay within the Bloodline, and at WrestleMania we get Sami Zayn versus Jey Uso. That's a hell of a match.
Could see it.
I'm with you on that. All right, so I'm going to give you my second take here, Mike. My second take is I think that Triple H blew his complete load at SummerSlam. And I think he is absolutely panicking right now, trying to look at his roster and go, what is salvageable with baby faces and heels? The issue is, and this is the train of thought that I've seen a lot of people use. A lot of people argue with me that we don't need baby faces and we don't need heels. We just need people to act on their natural instincts. No, this is what we get. We get matches like Randy Orton and Gunther that they're not super appealing because both are kind of good, both are kind of bad, right? You get matches like Cody and KO. Wrestling needs baby faces and wrestling needs heels. I've said it forever. The reason Marvel movies continue to sell is because they keep selling us that the next bad guy is the worst bad guy, right? Yeah. It was Ultron. Then it was Thanos. Then it was Galactus or whatever, and then it's Doctor Doom. The next one's always the biggest bad guy, and it's inevitable, and the good guy's got to figure out how to beat the bad guy. We don't have that right now. If you look down the roster, who is a scary heel on SmackDown? They don't exist. Santos is not. He's not scary. He's not. There's no fear in Cody Rhodes of Santos Escobar. You're the best heel in all of wrestling right now. Is Bronson Reed. Yeah. He's being built up to feel like a supervillain.
Yep.
He's doing supervillain things. He is taking out our favorite wrestlers. R-Truth, Seth Rollins. Should have let him take out The Miz. They should have let him keep going. He's going to take out Braun Strowman. And he is going to build the aura of who's going to stop him. And that's when the big baby face comes back, and whoever it is at the time, that's great. I argue that build Bronson Reed up, and that's Cody's Superman. Bronson Reed is your big bad guy. On the Raw side, I argue this is the problem with Gunther. They're not willing to let him be a super villain. He's just a guy. And the argument is, well, that's his character. His character is he's just another guy. Just another guy doesn't sell tickets for me. It doesn't make me want.
Yeah.
I have no investment. I see people say all the time, Gunther and Randy Orton's going to be a great match. It is. But there's no emotional investment in that match. They thought that they were going to get us on the King of the Ring thing, but that's already, they're stopped talking about that.
Yeah.
So now it's just fucking Gunther. I mean, he talks like a kindergartner to me, Mike. Like he really, like, Randy will say, like, you made this personal, and then Gunther's like, no, you made it personal. It's like, man, you got to do better than that. You have to do better than that. And I really feel like the crowd set him up with the USA chants. He should have turned and just went off on the crowd. Forget Randy. Go off on the crowd. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. And I said it doesn't have to be pro-German or it could be pro-European. It could just be anti-American.
Yep. Yeah.
But he needs something that feels super villain, and he doesn't have it right now. WWE, Triple H, I think at SummerSlam, we ended all these stories, and it was great. It's why SummerSlam felt like an Avengers movie. It was all of these stories ending, and it was great. We were like, holy shit, this is amazing. The problem is we woke up, and the story goes on, and we don't have Darth Vader. We don't have Thanos. We don't have Galactus. We don't have the Emperor from Star Wars. What we have right now is just a bunch of regular Joes.
Yeah, yeah. I think the thing with Triple H is you can see that when the PLE matters, that's when shit starts getting heated up, right? Like I'm giving a pass right now until we get past next Saturday, because I do believe that we've seen it. They're really building up Bad Blood. Oh, and then after Bad Blood is Survivor. So like those 2 months, we should see, the dial turned a little bit, and start seeing, obviously you're still seeing some story progression, like CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. You're seeing the Judgment Day, and so like you're seeing some carryover, and they're stretching it. But then you throw in like a Gunther Randy Orton, and it's just like, okay, well, crowd service kind of, so after next Saturday, I believe is when I'm going to start being a little bit more critical, because I feel like, again, they're treating Bad Blood. It almost seems like a big four PLE, and Survivor Series is just, that's Survivor Series, especially now with the War Game situation. So, I agree with you though. Like SummerSlam was like, that was Mania like level, right? Like, so naturally we have to kind of come down a little bit, and I think that's where we're at right now. I don't know if that Triple H is necessarily scrambling. I think he's just trying to fill these weeks until Labor Day on Monday. That's we're going now.
I think you're right. So, I think scrambling was the wrong word. I think you're definitely right. I think, because I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. What I'm saying, I'm saying that maybe this is Triple H's style, is to have this big firework display, and then that's why we need Bash at Berlin, right? Is so that we can reset. We can give you fan favorite matches. Understand this doesn't mean shit. Like this, understand this premium live. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you amazing SummerSlams followed by fan service. I think what you said is right. When I said scramble, that's the wrong word. I think that he is in the process of figuring out who's the next big bad guys.
Yeah, and you can kind of see the pattern, right? Like Royal Rumble. I think Mania season is the most exciting, because you get Royal Rumble, then you get Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
Both exciting events, right?
Yes.
But then you get Mania and it's Backlash, right?
Yeah.
You get SummerSlam and it's Bash in Berlin, right?
Yeah.
Like Survivor Series, Crown, like, so I think there's going to be that kind of ebb and flow. But yeah, I'm with you. It's still interesting enough to keep my attention, but I'm expecting bigger things after next Saturday.
I just need right now. I need supervillains. The Wyatts aren't the supervillains. I don't know if that was part of his plan and that failed. Bronson, I know I saw We Too Deep said he thinks his momentum's going to stop. I don't think so. I think Braun Strowman is a pawn for. There's got to be an escalation of, you can take out R-Truth, but how much of an accomplishment is that? Seth Rollins was out the door. That's a big accomplishment, but you don't have 10 Seth Rollins laying around. I think Braun Strowman is a guy you can sacrifice to Bronson Reed, and now we start getting serious about Bronson being unstoppable. I called it yesterday. I think we're due for a good like ring implosion. The ring falling apart. I think that Bronson and Braun is perfect for that. And I think I saw Wavy D said it should come from a suplex, but I think it should come from a tsunami. Where he jumps for the 6th time, he jumps off that and the ring just gives out.
Yeah.
You end a Monday Night Raw with it. You make them main event a Monday Night Raw. You have the ring fall apart and you have the last optic. Braun Strowman just laid out and Bronson Reed standing in a busted up ring like King Kong. And I mean, to me, that's how you book a supervillain. And then all of a sudden, you've got a big baddie.
Yep, I'm with you. Like Bronson Reed's been the main reason why I've been excited for Raw recently.
Yeah. And we said Bash at Berlin is a big part of that, right? Once we get out of there, we can see. But my question is, Mike, we can kind of, just real quickly, what do you do with Gunther after Randy Orton?
I have no idea, man. Listen, man.
Who's next?
For me, I'm just it. So here's where I'm at with it, right? Like, if you do the traditional Survivor Series like kind of layout, right? Let's maybe put Gunther with Cody, right? Because it's usually like the champion versus champion, right? That's how it usually is, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I
don't. I mean, 8 months till April. I have no idea, man.
I don't think I want either of those guys losing as champion right now.
I have no idea.
They're both fresh. All right. It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I got a tier battle here, or a tier maker here.
Let
me bring it up. This is pro wrestling weapons.
Ooh.
So we're going to be ranking different pro wrestling weapons.
Okay. That's interesting.
Fix this here.
That's interesting. Okay.
It's getting the pickings are getting slimmer and slimmer as I go through the list. Unless we're just ranking baddies every week for Wavy D.
I thought we were going to do what did I say last week? Finisher moves.
I couldn't find one.
Okay,
I'll make one. I didn't have time to make one. I'm a little behind. So I will make one.
Okay.
I couldn't find a finishing move that was like it didn't have like 4,000 Japanese wrestlers.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't finisher moves. It was match types. Match types. That's what it was.
Oh, okay. I'll look for match. I think I looked for finishing moves.
Okay.
But let's do weapons this week, and we'll do finishing moves or match types next week.
Yeah.
Match types.
We're good. Yeah.
All right, so it looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, about 24 weapons here. But some of them we can move through pretty quickly because some of them I don't know that I've seen used as a weapon before.
Okay.
Let's start off with a stop sign, Mike. And now our tiers here are S, A, B, C, and D.
Okay, stop sign.
I don't remember the last time I saw a stop sign involved in a match.
That's like Attitude Era, man. That's when you've seen the stop. Yeah. I'd say that's probably like a mid-level weapon, right? Like you can't say it's terrible.
Fun. No, it's fun to see a good stop sign in the
maybe like a C, right? Maybe that's like a C level weapon.
That's a good C level good C level weapon there. You can't complain about a stop sign.
Yeah.
All right, so a table. We're getting right into this. A table.
Okay, so table. So I mean, like that's a crowd pleaser. There's some good table spots, in history of wrestling. I'd say that's an S.
I do too.
Table.
That's what everybody calls for.
Yeah, it's tables.
Everybody wants the table. So
the table.
So yeah, table to me is the S. That's the standard, and then we can base everything else off of that. Okay, so this is thumbtacks. A bag of thumbtacks. Not used in WWE very often, but a staple of AEW that is effective to me. It can be effective.
I feel like when you get that mesh bag out and you start dropping the optics of them falling on the ring or the floor, and then whatever move you get, that might be an S. So that might be an S.
I'm with you on S because this is the one I don't get it. What's the gimmick in this?
Yeah.
I've had a thumbtack go into my fucking foot. It hurts.
It hurts.
How do you I get the table, right? It has no middle no middle structure, so it gives. Still probably hurts like a son of a bitch.
Right.
I get it. But thumbtacks, when you land
Oof.
on thumbtacks, like you're just eating that one.
Yeah, and I don't know how you prepare yourself for that.
I guess you know that it's not going to do any permanent damage, but so I'm going S under tables, right?
Yeah,
Because tables are still you can light a table on fire, Mike. There's a lot you can do with a table. You can lean it on the edge.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
We got a chainsaw. I don't think I've seen a chainsaw used in a match before.
I've never seen that.
This has to be some like Texas death match, some real
listen,
deep level.
Maybe a hot take, man. I'm that's probably like an F for me, man. I don't want to see no chainsaw in no match, man.
What are we doing with a chainsaw?
Know.
This just
like,
feels
like how is that even a weapon?
two issues. Number one, if it doesn't have the chain, then it's gimmicky. If it does have the chain, it's so fucking dangerous.
Yeah. Oh man, and I've never seen it used, so I don't know that I can rank it.
Me either. I'm going F as well because this just feels like backyard wrestling. Someone's losing an arm tonight.
Yeah, that's not even. Yeah,
or D. I think D is our lowest, so we're going D.
Okay. All right.
Handcuffs.
Oh, okay.
Handcuffs. We've seen handcuffs recently with AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes.
We've seen it. The KO and Roman match, the cage.
So when used effectively, I think is solid.
I think probably A.
A level.
I go A because it's effective.
No, I'm with you on that. I think they're simple. You can hit someone with them as well. They can be used as a weapon physically, but they inhibit and lock people. Yeah, no, good. Money in the Bank briefcase. Is this a weapon?
As a weapon?
Okay. I know it gets used from time to time, so I guess technically that makes it a weapon. But I've never registered as, it's as a weapon. Where does it stand? It doesn't feel that effective to me. It's a briefcase.
No. Yeah,
I guess it always sounds a little spongy when it hits someone.
Yeah, I guess C,
low C, above chainsaw, or maybe what about above chainsaw on D as a weapon?
On D, yeah. Let's do that. Do that.
Now, I just want you to know, Bobby Sherwood in the chat says never seen a chainsaw, but he's seen a weed whacker as a weapon in wrestling. That seems
listen, man.
Possibly worse.
That seems worse.
Yeah, that'd be weed. Fucking weed whackers hurt.
Yeah, man.
All right, Mike, I'm gonna hit you with a broom.
A broom. Okay. I haven't seen a broom.
I don't think so either. But I also, how effective is a broom?
It's kind of like a kendo stick with like bristles at the end, right? Like that's almost kind of
like
what
the bristles just get in the way.
Yeah, D. That's got to be a D.
I'm going below chainsaw on D.
Yeah. What are you doing with a broom?
Yeah. I mean, all right. Here's a good one. It's a good one.
Okay.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
Guitar. The old guitar.
I immediately Elias, Jeff Jarrett.
Right.
Those
Jeff
are
Jarrett's what I think.
Yeah. So okay. To me, that's an A.
I think it's a high A. It's one of the most effective single shot weapon. Like the way it usually explodes.
Yeah.
Gets a good noise from it.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Above or below handcuffs?
I think it's above, right?
I think so too.
Because it's always exciting. Yeah.
I love a good guitar. Jeff Jarrett was on another podcast that I listened to, a video game podcast, and he hit the host with a guitar.
Oh, yeah?
It was great, man. I mean, it just never fails.
Yeah, it's exciting.
All right, a fire extinguisher.
Oh,
very effective visually.
It's kind of more comic relief.
Yeah. What's up, Eric Clark?
Probably like a B, right? Because it can blind you. You can also use it physically. I
think B's a solid place because visually it's great, right? When someone gets hit with it and the smoke goes everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's as far as a weapon, we know it's not. You can cover your eyes and you're safe.
Right.
So I'm with you. I think a B. I think it's above a stop sign.
I'm good with that.
And below handcuffs. Perfect. Okay. The announcing table.
Ooh.
Slightly different than the standard wooden table.
That's true.
The announcer's table, an effective weapon. Also, an effective way to put your shoulder back into socket, as we've learned.
That is,
SummerSlam.
yeah. I like the optics of it because you got to clear it right, and you get the announcers kind of scrambling.
I'm with you on this. I'm with you with where you're going.
Yeah, I think this might be an S, man. This might be an S.
I think
this might be an S.
Where on S?
It's probably the lower one right now.
Under thumbtacks or above thumbtacks?
Above. It's got. I think above thumbtacks. Above thumbtacks.
We're on the exact same plane there. I still think the regular table is just so versatile. You can put it anywhere. You can use it backstage and on the side of the ring. You can fall into it. You can stack them. But I'm with you. The optics of like whenever you clear off that table, shit's going down, and you can jump off of it. And we've seen like Logan use it as like a landing pad.
Frog splash. Yeah.
I'm definitely. I'm with you right under this. All right, barbed wire. And this is just barbed wire. It's not on a bat, so I guess.
Just barbed wire.
It's just a roll of barbed wire is what they've got here. But I think we can have the discussion that typically barbed wire gets wrapped around like another weapon, and it makes that a super weapon.
Yeah. And if that's the logic we're going with, I think you got to go probably high B.
So I'm going high B or low A. Because it is an additive, right? It takes the sledgehammer, it takes the baseball bat, it takes everything else kind of up a level. But I'm okay going high B on barbed wire.
High B for me. Versatile.
Yeah, definitely. Versatile weapon. All right, Mike. The stairs.
Yeah.
The steel steps.
Okay.
This is classic.
It's a classic weapon. I feel like it's been used for ages.
Now I'm going to give it one knock.
Okay.
It never sounds as devastating. It always sounds aluminum to me.
Well, I feel like back in the day it sounded better.
Yeah, but I mean lately
now it's kind of like
sounds hollow and cheap. Back in the day, but they were probably really steel back in the day.
They're really That's true. That's true. The optic having to tear it off.
I agree. It's got the same thing as the announce table. Brock Lesnar's used it a few times as a landing pad. So
yeah, I think that's got to be about an A.
I'm going low A.
Low A. Because it's got big ties to wrestling. So I'm
it's always there. It gets used a lot. Even a lot of times it's used in matches that aren't DQ. You get thrown into the stairs.
You get thrown into
your arm stuck in the stairs.
Yep.
So I'm with you. I think low A is fair for that. Duct tape.
The fuck?
Duct tape. Fucking Temu handcuffs for wrestling. I'm sure it's been used, so I'm not gonna say it's never been used. But like, that seems like a very cumbersome way to like, hey, stay still so I can duct tape you.
Duct tape. Yeah, I'm good on that. That's got to be a D for me.
I think it's above broom for me, but it's a D.
Yeah,
I still think
I'm
broom,
good with that.
Unless you're riding broom like a witch or Harry Potter or some shit. I don't know what you're doing with a broom. You're cleaning up blood. All right, Mike. All right, Mike. This is going to be the one. It's still the chair.
That's S.
It's S, right? Where though? Is it? I mean, is it the ultimate weapon?
I think so.
Right? I mean, it's like concerto, chair shots. Man.
I'm thinking of like back in the attic, like they really swung that thing too.
Yeah, and I mean, if you just ask any person, like, what is the ultimate wrestling weapon? I think they say chair.
Chair.
They go, it's a chair. I'm with you. I think chair is the top of the chart here as far as weapons go. All right, we got title belt, which is a little bit like Money in the Bank, but I think it's more effective. Title belts, more effective. Yeah, title belt. I mean, it's believable. I've held my title belts back here. Wouldn't want to get hit in the head with one.
Yeah. Title belt. High B.
High B. High B, low A is where I was thinking.
Yeah.
We can go high B above the barbed wire. That's a good spot.
I'm good with that. Yeah.
Crowbar.
Maybe once I've seen that.
Yeah, I've maybe once or twice, and very savage weapon.
Yeah,
it seems once again
wrestling related though. I don't.
As far as I don't. And believability, right? Like
like what are we trying to?
We're getting to one here in a minute that I think I don't.
Okay.
Well, when we get there, we'll get there.
I'm probably at a D with this one.
I am too.
I'm probably at a D.
I am too. I'll go above Chainsaw.
Okay.
Above Chainsaw. It's a little more effective than Chainsaw.
But
below Money in the Bank briefcase.
Okay. All
right, we got Sledgehammer, Triple H's weapon of choice. The old sledgehammer.
For me, man. That's an S for me. I'm
with you.
And yes, Triple H made it famous 100%, but he during his run, we were associating Triple H with winning titles, Stephanie McMahon, spitting water, and sledgehammers. That was, and the way he would use it, and at the
end of his career, he couldn't have a match like a WrestleMania match where that didn't make some sort of an appearance. I agree. From just an iconic standpoint, I think it's an S, and I think it's
low S.
I think it's above Thumbtacks.
Yeah,
below the announce table.
I'm good with that.
Are you good with that?
I'm good with that.
Because I'm with you. It's just from the iconicness of it. All right, Mike, ladder.
I'm not high on ladders.
I'm not either. That's funny. I'm not big on ladders.
I'm not high on ladders.
They're a great tool for Money in the Bank, but they're a terrible weapon.
Yeah.
They're awkward. You couldn't, if you ran at me with a ladder, I'm just getting out of the way.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I'll probably put a D. Honestly.
I would go C. I think it's
C?
I think
Low
because
C?
of Money in the Bank, it's more effective than a briefcase.
Okay.
Because of the spots of when you stack two ladders and you do what did Shayna Baszler or Zoe Starks did the pile driver and stuff. I think it can be used in that means, but yeah, I'm going low C.
You got me with that. I'm good with that.
All right, screwdriver.
What the heck? All right.
That's deep for me.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna waste my time on that.
It's with a crowbar. It's one of those very specialty things.
Yeah.
All right, so what we have left here is all pretty legitimate weapons. A leather strap, a leather belt.
That's mid-level. It's maybe a C for me.
I think it's the top of the C. I think it's above a stop sign for me.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with it.
It's one of those utility weapons. We don't see it often. It makes a good noise when you pop it. It leaves a good mark, but it's not. I don't want every match having a belt involved. It's a stretch to understand how the belt got there.
Sure.
Trash can. Trash can's another one of these. I'm gonna say low B, just to throw it out there. It's another comical weapon because someone's getting it put over their head.
Yeah.
And then getting kicked with it.
Trash can is for me, that's associated with the hardcore title. You always seen a trash can. Agree. So yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm good with that.
Low B.
I'm good with that.
Lauren said this looks like we're putting together a list of things to kidnap somebody with.
We might be. We're getting ready for those Wyatts.
Lauren says it's an S if Oscar the Grouch jumps out of the trash can.
That would be something.
All right, this is the one that I was interested in because I don't think I've ever seen this as a weapon. I've seen it brought to the ring, a sword.
Okay. Oh my God!
When has the sword ever been? Has anybody ever been hit by a sword?
I've never seen it.
Drew's cut the ropes, but I don't think that technically.
He's cut the ropes. He's swung at people, but obviously
he's never made contact because that's immediate death. If the sword is a weapon, it's top of the S because it's a fatality. It's a finishing blow.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't rock with the sword, man.
I think it goes down with the chainsaw and shit. It's cool to carry, but every time he brings the sword, I'm like, what's he gonna do with that? He's not stabbing anybody.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
The kendo stick.
Now, listen. The last 3 years, that's a top tier weapon.
It's one of the most used weapons, right?
It's used all the time. So I guess for that reason, and it's an effective weapon. It leaves marks. It's the sound. I'd probably go low A. I go the lowest.
I think that's fair. Right above the belt, below the stairs. I think that's perfect for a kendo stick. Because I've always said I'd like to be hit by a kendo stick one time.
that you're in a club by yourself on that one.
Well,
Yeah.
because it doesn't sound like it hurts that much. I know it's gonna hurt like a son of a bitch, and I'm gonna regret it immediately. But it's one of those things that like I have to experience that to understand what that feels like. And they sell them at the mall. So there's been times I've almost bought one.
I'd do it if I could wear like clothing.
Yeah. I probably don't want to go bareback to the kendo stick.
No,
definitely, because it it always leaves a whelp or something. But yeah. But I feel like a little bit of that sound comes because it's hollow.
Could be.
It makes a good sound.
Yeah.
What is? I'm having a brain fart. Hair big. Drew McIntyre. That's who you're trying to think of, Lauren. It's Drew McIntyre. All right, we got 3 weapons left here.
Okay.
We've got the baseball bat.
That's one of them that like I've seen it.
It's a Sting thing to me. That immediately
but I've never like
Sting.
seen it. I've never seen it like actually used before.
I think Darby Allin. I might have seen him use a baseball bat once, but
low C.
Low C is perfect. It's more practical than screwdrivers and chainsaws. But, but it's not. It's not what I want. It's not what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Bobby Sherwood says never looks good.
Okay.
All right, we got steel pipe.
Steel pipe.
Steel pipe. This is an Attitude Era thing to me as well.
That's
because I remember the Attitude Era. They always have. He's got a steel pipe. I'm like, why are there just steel pipes laying around?
Probably like a B, right?
B, that's fair.
Like a B,
that's fair.
like a one of those that you just like. All right, yeah.
Last one here's a chain. This is a little bit like barbed wire to me. This is
you can use it.
It's wrapped around your hand. Gets wrapped around the bat. It's I mean,
do we put it with barbed wire?
Where did
I think you almost have to, right?
Where did we have? We had barbed wire was a B.
I think that's.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe a high C. Maybe a high C.
I think high C. I think barbed wire is more synonymous with wrestling.
Yeah.
It's so light they get it. It causes blood. A chain is one of those kind of like in the level. I think C's a good place. A chain will fuck you up.
It will.
You really get hit with a chain. That'll mess you up. All right.
Yeah.
So that's
I'm good with that.
S level, we've got a chair, a table, an announce table, a sledgehammer, thumbtacks. A, we've got guitar, handcuffs, steel steps, and a kendo stick. B, we've got a title, barbed wire, fire extinguisher, trash can, lead pipe or steel pipe. C, we've got chain, leather belt, stop sign, ladder, baseball bat. And D, we have money in the bank briefcase, crowbar, screwdriver. This does sound like weapons to like kidnap and murder somebody. A chainsaw, a sword, duct tape, and a broom to clean it all up.
Jesus. Whoever made this list, I don't know. There's
some things left off. There were no brass knuckles, no light tubes, no pizza cutter, as Bobby Sherwood saying. I saw a pizza cutter once. That's insane.
I've seen it once before too.
I think I saw it in AEW.
Yeah, of course.
Why?
Where else? Yeah.
All right, Mike. You got anything else?
Nah, man. I'm good. I just hoping that we can get to next Saturday and start taking off here. But we're getting to that.
This is an interesting time. I'm not. My love affair with wrestling right now is not as strong as it normally is. I struggled through Raw last night. Definitely.
Yeah, it was hard.
Caught myself doing other things while watching it.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you guys for hanging out and coming to the Mike and D Wrestling Hot Take Show. As always, you're invited for more shows this week, including the Nerdy D Kickback tomorrow, the Casual Community Show on Thursday, the Smackdown After Party Friday, the Raw VIP After Party on Monday, and we hope to see you same time, same place next week for another Mike and D Hot Take Show. But for now, that's all we got. The party never stops. Join the Discord, like, share, and comment. I am Nerdy D. That is my guy, Milwaukee Mike, and we are out of here.